everything. She's been on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, The View with Barbara Walters, to name a few. And even one of my favorite things about her is Anderson Cooper has read her book. Please welcome Cynthia Richmond.
Well,
thank you so much. How are you guys today?
We are great. But now she finally made it to the On Air with Tony Sweet show.
Yeah, just now. Yeah. The pinnacle of success.
Yeah, she's made it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Eddie, you go ahead and lead it off because I know you know Cynthia here, and I'm excited to have her here.
Well, first of all,
thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
The thing with Cynthia is, and this is the part, even she and I are sister Aries, and she's as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. And she's one of those people who have found her passion in life, and that's to help other people by tuning into them and waking them up to their inner power, their intuition, their subconscious mind. And I would like to ask you right up front, Cynthia, for people who are not familiar with dream interpretation, give the audience just a little bit of an idea about the power of their dreams and then how they can start using it today to change their life.
Oh, great question. Thank you, Eddie. Well, we all dream every night, and our dreams are downloaded through the subconscious mind, which Napoleon Hill called infinite mind as opposed to finite mind of man. So the subconscious connects us to source. And so we get guidance, we get intuition, we get inspiration, we get creativity. The subconscious mind knows the status of every cell in your body. So if you're not feeling well, before you go to sleep, you can ask your mind, what's in the highest and best interest of my body? What is my body wanting or needing? How can I be of assistance to these symptoms? I mean, in Western culture, a lot of us don't pay attention to our dreams, and it's such a loss because they are there with purpose, reason, value, benefit, and I just love turning people onto this tool that's as close as their pillow.
Wow. And so it's like pillow therapy with Cynthia Richmond.
Oh, I like that. That's the next book right there.
Yeah, and so so the subconscious mind is directly associated with every cell, atom, and molecule in the body. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct, as well as, you know, that consciously we can only really focus on one thing at a time. We have a little peripheral vision. We might be aware of someone behind us and that type of thing. But the subconscious is able to take in everything at the same time. It's like a big satellite dish that's pulling it all in. So if you walk in the house and you're on the cell phone and you drop your keys, you went to put them on the bookshelf, but they drop on the floor, you didn't recognize that consciously at all. But your subconscious did, and you'll probably have a dream that night of where your keys are because your subconscious knows how important it is for you to get to work on time the next day.
Well, and so do you think if you're more relaxed, tell me what you guys think too, if you're more relaxed, you have a greater connection to the subconscious mind even if you're awake?
Yes. So for meditation, guided imagery, creative visualization, hypnosis, just sitting and looking at something you find beautiful, like the sunset over the water, all of these things can put us into a more receptive, open place to sort of download where the subconscious is stacked up to give us because it knows the priority and it knows what's important.
And so there's no such thing as a stupid dream, right?
I agree with it 100%. Every dream's important. Some dreams maybe feel less so because they're the dreams we have and we're just sort of sorting through the day, kind of like when you clean out your computer case and you throw away the notes you don't need anymore, whatever. So some dreams are just sort of cleansing and filing and so on. They seem a little mundane, but other dreams are dreams that we have where we get our stress management, you know, where we're flying or we're having some amazing fantasy experience, and those kind of help us balance. And then the dreams we have right before we wake up typically are the ones that the subconscious mind is giving you a gift, giving you something to carry out into your waking day that you can benefit from.
Wow, I love that. I'm really good about whenever just before I wake up, when I'm having a really good dream.
Oh, he got too big a smile on his face.
Well, and I'll tell you what one of them were during your segment. But
kids, close your ears.
Yes, yes, because it involves mermaids. Okay, that's about as sexy and dirty as I get. I'm really good at falling back asleep and going right back into the dream over and over and over until I actually wake up. So, and is that normal?
It is normal. Not everyone can do it, but many people have told me they even get up, use the bathroom, come back to bed, and go right back into the dream because they weren't finished and the subconscious wasn't finished in trying to communicate. So that's something people do, and that's great that you can do that. And another similar thing that people do is periodically they're dreaming and they're back at their dream house and dream job and dream friends and dream everything, and there's this feeling in the dream, oh my gosh, I forgot all about this part of my existence. Be curious to know if either of you had that experience.
I've had that experience, and so I'm just going to ask you about a dream. I have this place I'll go to in my subconscious mind, in my dream world, where I'm a little slightly abnormal. And I think in a good sense of the word, I love mermaids. I love dolphins and whales. I believe dolphins and whales are sort of like angels of the sea. I really genuinely feel that way.
Yes.
Since I was a kid. And so there's this place I would go to. It's this giant lagoon. It's a freshwater lagoon. And it looks like it's from another planet. And I often go down to the beach there. And I went there to jump into the water, to dive into the water. But when I dove off the cliff to go into the water, I was sort of astroplaning over the water without touching it. And I was just sort of flying around and I remember consciously thinking, what the hell am I doing? And I was flying around, and then up under the water, I could see the dolphins, I could see the whales, I could see the mermaids. And then these two huge koi came up, and they had to be about 40 feet long each. And they came up, they were orange and black and yellow and white, and they were gorgeous, and they came up right beside of each other. And then I just sort of put one foot on the left one and one foot on the right one. And then they took me all the way around the lagoon and then dropped me off back on the beach and said, okay, we're done. You need to wake up, Eddie Connor.
Wow.
That's a great dream.
Yeah. What does that mean, girl?
You need to wake up.
Well, and you go back to this place and revisit it?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. So this is really fascinating to me. You know, now that we know in our lifetime, we've had the fantastic pleasure of learning about quantum theory and quantum physics and string theory and understanding that all time is happening at the same time, even though our human minds brains are only capable of perceiving it sort of linearly. You know, we had a time for this interview and a date for this interview and so on and so on. But I believe one of the possible interpretations of what you experience, since you go back to that place and since you love it, is that it's a different dimension of experience that your soul is capable of igniting, opening for you to experience. You can't go there in your body at the moment, but you can go there with your spirit. And I think it's a gift because it's just such a pleasurable, beautiful communion with nature, and you probably wake up from those dreams feeling absolutely connected to the universe and just ready to have an incredible creative day.
That's so true, because I know, because I love people, I hate people. And whenever you work as a creative person, and tell me how many of you in the room feel this way, I do genuinely love people and I love humanity. But when I'm finished with my work that day, like you were talking about earlier, I have to take a break. I need to go somewhere and recharge. Sometimes it's walking in nature or petting a pet or something that feeds me back or fills me back up so that I have my balance about me. And this is the place I get to go all the time and get tuned back in, if you will. And so whenever I wake up from it, I literally feel like I've been on a week-long vacation.
Wonderful.
Cynthia, I have a question. You know, there's a lot of dreams that make sense. You're like, oh, I dreamt about this, and it just makes sense. Why do you think some dreams are so out there, crazy, that we never can seem to interpret what they mean? Why? And then
Well,
the next one, it's like pretty much like, oh, that was about my mother beating me or something.
With
you
a
know?
Pop-Tart.
Yeah. Or, why do you think that is?
well, those are my favorite dreams, the ones that seem disjointed. I have a dream group here in Sedona that's going on 12 years, meeting once a month with fabulous women. Excuse me, there's allergies here in everything's blowing here. And I've had dream groups in New York and Los Angeles, and I always love it when someone starts out by saying, this doesn't mean anything, because I know it's going to be groovy, meaning, and that they're going to be shocked, but they're also going to get the connection. And what happens is, in the language of dreams, it's not like a movie or a TV show. There doesn't necessarily, it's a beginning, middle, and an end, but they might be very incongruent images or activities. But when you break it down and when you determine the association of the dreamer to each specific symbol, and a symbol can be an action, it can be a verb, it can be a noun, it can be a feeling, but it can be a taste and a smell. When you associate the dreamer's meaning to that specific symbol, it does make beautiful sense. And here's how you know. Here's how you know, Tony, if you got to the right definition or right interpretation of a dream. If you're ever having a conversation with somebody, you and Eddie are chatting, and you're saying, did you see that movie? Yeah, I saw it. Who was the guy that played the something? And neither one of you can think of the name. And then all of a sudden, one of you thinks, oh, my God, it was Brad Pitt. Of course it was Brad Pitt. That feeling of surety is that aha moment, means that you got the intended message the subconscious or spirit or source wanted you to get from that specific dream. So you can continue gently working with the dream, even those really incongruent ones, until you get a sense of recognition and you just go, oh, thank you. Now I love this,
Yeah, that makes sense because, there's many times I remember when I was a kid that I had a dream, and there's also, I think, I don't know, like intuition dreams or psychic dreams, because I remember, dreaming about a dog that I was best friends with back in my hometown. We were on vacation. I dreamt that people were chasing and I'm trying to kill it. Well, then my dad called the next day and I said, how's the dog? The dog was killed.
Yeah.
And but then you have these dreams where you're like, the pink elephant is like flying over you and you're in a subway and you're like they're so different and they're so strange to you. You're like I can see where people like that means nothing to me.
So think of your dream state as a telephone line or a communication vehicle. Not every phone call you get makes sense. Some are telemarketers, some are this, some are that. So it's just that the dream state is a conduit. And so any information that needs to come through. Now, I think I've mentioned this to Eddie before, but in the 1960s, there were two bureaus, one in New York, one in London, where people who had precognitive dreams that come true would call and register their dreams. And then when something happened that was newsworthy, that was, a news story supported the dream, they kept track. So someone dreamt of an earthquake in a specific area. Someone dreamt of the in number on a tail of a plane that crashed. People had dreams about their own family members. Someone passed away, and there's an obituary to prove it. They tested that very carefully and found that 12% of dreams are precognitive or do come true, which is fascinating in the sense that we are all connected to that information, but also the majority of dreams don't come true. So if you dream of someone's passing, very likely it's not about that. It could be warning you to connect, share, or maybe saying a portion of the relationship is ending and making room for a deeper, more meaningful relationship or something like that. So, but yes, some seem ridiculous and some seem literal, and that's true. Our dream state is just a method of downloading information that will be helpful to us.
Oh, I love that. Cynthia, Richard Shelton is in the house, and he has a question for you.
Hi, Cynthia. Hi.
Hi, Richard.
Hi. I've had a dream which is both comforting and I enjoy, And it's terrifying in equal measure. And it's when I dream of, and I'm sure this is common if you've lost someone you love very much. I mean, my mother died when I was a child. And sometimes I'll dream of her, and it's going to be beautiful, you know, and I'll almost, you know, be happy as a result of that dream. But other times I've sort of experienced it and I've been upset and frightened. And sort of thought, go away, I don't want to see you like this. And I'm curious to know if there's a symbolism to that, or is that just my mind working overtime and sort of resolving issues or seeking approval, possibly? I just wonder what you think.
You know, Richard, it could be all of the above, but I'll tell you that when there's two sorts of dreams with respect to departed loved ones. And so one type is where you feel that happy feeling, you feel connected, you feel joy. Your departed loved one, your mother might be saying, I'm fine, don't worry about me, don't feel badly, you know, the messages of that nature. The dreams we have when they're unsettling about the person are not visitation dreams at all. They're dreams where we're churning over in our subconscious mind any sort of guilt or doubt or concern or should I have visited that one more time or, you know, those kind of things. Typically, sort of are the seeds that bring the dreams of departed loved ones that are not pleasant. Every single time a departed loved one comes into our dream state for a visit, it's a beautiful experience. They're usually, like my dad came to me after he passed, he wasn't his ill voice and ill appearance, you know, he was like in his 40s, in his prime, and, you know, his voice was his healthy, younger voice, and those are the signs that, you know, your departed loved one is really wanting to reassure you and connect with you.
It's great to hear you say that because, I mean, I had one dream that stuck with me for a long time, and actually it was my father who was, he died, I suppose, nearly 20 years ago now, but he was a really overbearing, frightening man. And in this dream, I was trying, I was trying to make my mind up in which direction to go, and he spoke to me in this dream and sort of told me off and told me I was a fool and I was going to regret what I was about to do. And I've always thought, maybe I shouldn't have done what I did, but I did it anyway because I thought, well, it's my life. I'm going to make my own mind up.
Of course. So your dad is symbolic for what you associate with him, which was that he was judgmental or he was difficult or he applied scrutiny. So when your subconscious, which, you know, demonstrates these things to us. Yeah. We're human, so we have doubt, we have self-doubt, we have all that jazz. So when you're going through a period where you might be questioning a decision, a behavior, so on and so on, your dad could come up in your dream to represent that part of you that's saying, okay, is this really the best choice? So that's all that is. I had a man, I was on a book tour, for Dream Power, this man in Missouri was there, and he had been in Jungian and Freudian therapy for many, many years, and he didn't know what this dream meant. And the dream was, there's a big old-fashioned locomotive, and he's on the track, and he can't step off the track, and the locomotive is coming slowly, and steam is coming out of the locomotive, and he knows he can't escape, and he's very frightened. And I said, okay, who was the old-fashioned menacing, judgmental, because you can't get off, right, black or white, person in your life? And he said, oh my God, my father. And he started crying. I mean, he'd been in therapy for years, and that seemed so obvious probably to all of you listening, but he had never put two and two together, maybe not wanting to see his father in that light.
Wow, I love stuff like that. And one of the things that you have is called the Dream Power Journal, and it's set up in such a unique way that we record our dreams, but then we start able to track a pattern in them, so we can see consistently what our subconscious mind is trying to tell us. And I know people can get that at dreampower.net and at Amazon.com.
Actually not. Yeah, Amazon.com. I don't sell it on my website at this point, but maybe there's a link there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Amazon.com.
If you click on the book or the thing, I think it actually goes.
Takes you straight to Amazon.com.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, so cool. Thanks, you guys.
Will you share a little bit about exactly what the Dream Power Journal is?
Yes. So after, because I've been on every talk show on television, because I wrote columns for the LA Times and Arizona Republic, I've had the honor of reading more than 55,000 real people dreams and categorizing them and understanding them. And so I created a journal based on that information. So there's a place for you to write anything special or something that stands out about the day, not the norm, but the thing, the argument with the boss or whatever it might be, because we typically dream on those topics. There's a place to write your dream. There's a place for you to title your dream, and you title your dream in keywords so that, as Eddie was saying, when you have another dream with similar symbols in it, you can go back and connect the dots. And this enables you to get so much depth of information and knowledge and advice and inspiration from your subconscious mind by reading all the dreams that included a kitten or a hat or whatever it might be. In the back of the book, I have a dream dictionary up to 50, based on the 55,000, the 50 most common dreams and their most common meaning. That's not to say that it's your meaning necessarily. Almost every dream can be interpreted on two levels. One is the universal, the Jungian collective consciousness, unconsciousness association, and the other is your personal one. So you can get great inspiration from interpreting all of your dreams both ways. The beginning has some information about how to remember your dreams, how to program yourself. So once you're remembering your dreams and you're kind of getting your own dream language, you can then incubate a dream. So you can say, what's in the best interest of my health? Or should I take the job that I've been offered? Or what about this relationship should I know? Or whatever it is that's on your mind at that moment, and get information from angel, spirit, source, guides, your own unconscious mind. And it is an invaluable source of information. And the journal just helps you organize it so that you just, most of our dreams are fleeting. We forget them. If we don't write them down right away, they're gone, So it's important to either write them down or type them into a log in your computer and keep track of them and review them from time to time. You can get a new important message from a dream you had 10 years ago just by reading it as though it happened last night and reinterpreting it.
I love that.
Well, when I was a child, that I used to dream a lot about flying. And there's some people. I used to think everybody had dreams about flying, and apparently I guess a lot of people don't or do. I don't know. But why as we get older, it seems that less and less I have dreams about flying. Why is that? Is that?
That's interesting, Tony. It's probably because your life has gotten more complicated. We call flying dreams, dreams about there's no gravity, So the gravity of life and business and bills and all the seriousness of life can keep us maybe from having those. But you can request a flying dream. Actually, flying dreams are one of the 5 most popular or most common dreams. So you can deny it. You can say, okay, subconscious, sign me up for a flying dream, and I keep doing it until you get one.
Now, if I get a hammock and fall asleep in it, you think that would help? I'm just kidding.
You can just visualize yourself in the hammock.
Right.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, and then have somebody
and then
cut
2
it.
storks come and carry you away, and you're flying.
Well, one thing that somebody brought to my attention, and I was going to ask you on their behalf, because, there's always these people that are skeptics. Always. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, okay, what if a dream interpreter, Eddie likes snakes, but, I don't like snakes. And if I have snakes in my dream, well, it could be something different for Eddie. Is that true? I mean, exactly.
Well, what you just said is true. I mean, each person has their own personal association. So if you dislike snakes or have fear of snakes, snakes represent fear. So if you dream of snakes, when you wake up, you say, okay, in my waking state, what am I fearful of right now? And how can I be empowered? How can I take control to, not have this fear or take some steps toward that? But there are always skeptics that say dreams are nonsense. Back in the day, they thought they were superstition, and but here's the thing: Paul McCartney, so many musicians have dreamt melody, lyric. Painters have Picasso dreamt images and combinations of colors, inventions. So many, including medical procedures And medical tests came to the scientist in a dream. The way to organize the periodic table of elements came to a scientist in a dream. There's just too much evidence to show us that our dream life is valuable, worthy of consideration. Our dreams also are stress management. They're compensatory. If you're on a diet and you're denying yourself a creamy dessert, you could dream of eating it, enjoy it, even feel like you're tasting it. In fact, people who quit smoking or quit drinking very often dream they're doing that, and they wake up panicked because they think they really screwed up. But it's just the mind and subconscious way of compensating, balancing what you're no longer getting in your waking state.
Well, in my dreams, I still have a six-pack, so there we go.
Yeah, which is amazing because his favorite menage a trois is Ben and Jerry.
Hey, you like it too, huh?
Yeah,
Eddie
it's mine
shows
too.
up.
Oh, well, hello, because it's Chunky Monkey. I'm going to show
Yeah,
up.
baby.
That's a good flavor.
Yeah, oh, it is. And so, Cynthia, in wrapping up, they can go to your website, dreampower.net. They can work with you. They can hire you to speak at their event. They can check out your blog there. But also, a lot of people don't know that you are you teach people in writing workshops, and you have one coming up soon, right? May the 28th through May the 31st.
Thank you. Yes, I'm facilitating a workshop in Tubac, Arizona, which is south of Tucson. We'll be together for 3.5 days. We'll do a little bit of dream work each night and each morning, but primarily I'll be helping people write their memoir, their life story, which is such a healing aspect of our life. It opens intuition. It heals us. It's a very beautiful work. I love, love, love to do. And I have it right here. They can call 802-362-0570. It's Alchemy Retreats, and I will put it on my website by Monday. But thank you for bringing that up.
You're so welcome, and it's titled The Story of Your Life Workshop. They can also go to Amazon.com and get the Dream Power Journal, which I have one, and it's amazing. It's helped me get my dream act together, if you will.
Yeah, I am so glad that it's working for you. Thank you, Eddie.
You're so welcome. We love you to pieces.
Yes,
and
we
want
do.
you to come back.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you, Tony.
Please come back.
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
yay.
21,
Thank you.
right?
You mentioned Aries, so I felt it was fair ground, and yours is coming up, Mr. Eddie Connor.
All righty.
Well, in your honor, all the songs we're playing today are all about dreams. So this
Oh,
one,
well, thank you.
yeah, we're doing
I appreciate
eurythmic sweet dreams. So thank you, Cynthia. Have a great day.
Love you, girl.
Thank you, Tony. Love you guys. Bye for
Take
now.
care. Bye-bye. All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to have Eddie Connor do Girl, Your Soul is Speaking. So be right back.